Hey, friend. Did you know today is officially the halfway point of summer? Yep, 47 days down and 47 days of sun, fun, and celebrating to go. And by celebrating, I mean drinking. If you're a woman in perimenopause or menopause and you feel like drinking this summer is kind of hitting you a little differently, you may be right. Research shows that hormone shifts in midlife can affect the way our body metabolizes alcohol, which can decrease our alcohol tolerance, increase our hangover severity, and exacerbate our menopausal and perimenopausal symptoms. More on that in a bit. The truth is, ladies, if we're not careful, all of that summer celebrating can push us into a hormone apocalypse come the fall. But don't worry, I got you, boo, because in this week's Hot Flash Summer Series episode, I am going to share 8 ways to reduce the effects of alcohol and keep your hormones in check so you can live your best hot girl summer. If you love you some ice cold beers or frozen margaritas, but they're not loving you, stay tuned. This episode is for you. Welcome to Are You There Midlife? It's me, Monica. Hi, I'm Monica Topetti, wife, mom, health coach, and hormone imbalance survivor. And I'm on a mission to help women in midlife balance hormones naturally without drugs, doctors, or divorce. Are you tired of dealing with heavy, painful periods that look like a crime scene? Are you sick of struggling with anxiety, fatigue, or brain fog that... What was I just saying? Are you frustrated doing all the things to lose weight but still packing on pounds faster than a real housewife changes Birkins? Girl, you are in the right place. Join me each week as I spill the tea on what to expect in perimenopause and beyond. From IBS to insomnia, bloating to funky body odor, I'll unpack all the weird stuff happening inside our midlife bodies, plus give you the latest science and holistic solutions to manage it all. So ditch the Spanx and hop on board the Hot Mess Express. Let's do this. Hey, beautiful, welcome back to the show. So as I mentioned before the intro, today's episode is all about how to reduce the effects of alcohol on our body, and in particular, our hormones. In last week's episode, I shared 8 signs alcohol is impacting your perimenopause and menopause symptoms. We learned, for example, that alcohol can affect our hormones in a variety of ways, and that can cause changes in our mood, including increased anxiety and depression. It can cause vasomotor symptoms like night sweats, hot flashes, and dizziness. It can cause problems sleeping like insomnia or waking up in the middle of the night, and even fatigue, blood sugar spikes, you name it. In fact, if you haven't listened to episode 29 yet, I'll make sure to link it in today's show notes. But today I want to move on and I want to talk about alcohol and how alcohol not only affects and contributes to a hormonal imbalance, but the reverse, meaning the hormonal shifts that we ladies are all experiencing in perimenopause and menopause can actually affect the effects of alcohol on our bodies. How? One word, estrogen. So women in perimenopause are often dealing with progesterone deficiency or estrogen dominance. That means that they have high or excess estrogen. And it's these higher estrogen levels that can make drinking more rewarding. And that results in stronger cravings for alcohol and often overindulgence. In contrast, women in menopause are often dealing with low estrogen. And it's these lower estrogen levels that can impair our liver function and make alcohol more difficult to metabolize and detoxify from our body. But it's not all gloom and doom. There are several things we can do to minimize the effects of alcohol on our hormones and our perimenopause or menopause symptoms. So, grab a notepad and your favorite non alcoholic beverage, especially if you're operating heavy machinery, as we stir the tea on 8 healthy drinking hacks to get you through summer. Healthy drinking hack number 1. Get sober curious. Wait, before you fast forward, I said sober curious, not sober. So, what's the difference exactly? Glad you asked, because sobriety requires complete abstinence from alcohol, and it also requires a permanent commitment to stop drinking. Sober curious is a mindset that aims to challenge drinking culture and norms, improve your health and well-being, and practice mindful drinking. If you've been hearing a lot about the sober curious movement on social media, there's good reason. Being sober curious is more than just some Gen Z trend. In fact, a recent study found that 41% of Americans are trying to drink less alcohol in general. 41%. In fact, celebrities of all ages are jumping aboard, including Real Housewife of Beverly Hills reality star, producer, and actress Kyle Richards, who's 55, by the way. She recently celebrated 2 years without alcohol. Have you seen her flex on IG lately? She looks amazing, and she credits her new body to working out and living alcohol-free. No Ozempic for that housewife. She lost weight the healthy way. But like I said, you don't have to completely give up alcohol to experience the benefits of a sober, curious lifestyle. Here's some tips. Number 1, question why you are drinking. Do you genuinely just want that glass of wine or beer? Or are you just drinking to fit in a social situation? If it's the latter, there are plenty of great mocktail drinks you can order that taste amazing but won't mess with your hormones. Just stopping and asking yourself the question before you mindlessly imbibe can really help you cut back on alcohol consumption. Remember, you can still enjoy time with your friends with a glass of club soda in your hand. More on that in a minute. Number 2 tip is agree to take a break from alcohol for a certain period of time. For example, you can have alcohol-free days during the week, or maybe you decide to drink only every other weekend, or you can agree to not drink for an entire month, like dry January or sober October. The core rule of those months is to abstain from alcohol for an entire 31 days straight. But if you have a significant event or celebration or life moment that you want to really acknowledge during the month, you can choose to drink. And then the next day, you just continue with the challenge. Tip number 3 is make a conscious choice to avoid events or places that are solely focused on alcohol. Let's see, like bars, wine tasting events, cocktail parties, pub crawls. Try to say yes to more events where alcohol is not the main focus, like a concert or outdoor recreational activities like biking, golfing, hiking, water sports, amusement parks, or even spa days. Side note, I have embraced the sober, curious lifestyle multiple times during the last 10 years or so. Sometimes it was for spiritual reasons. Sometimes it was for health reasons. Sometimes because I simply just wanted to feel more present in my life. Now, I am a pretty outgoing person, but spoiler alert, I'm actually an introvert. And I can sometimes be withdrawn in social situations if my anxiety gets the best of me. One of the best nights I've had in recent years was a concert that I went to that my friend was singing in, and I was completely sober for the whole thing. I had an absolutely amazing time, a total blast. I was singing, I was dancing, I was laughing with all of our friends, and no one had any idea that I was drinking iced tea all night. And the best part, not only did I remember all of the great conversations I had the next day, but no hangover. Healthy drinking hack number 2 is alternate alcohol with water. It's simple math. Alternating every other cocktail with water cuts down on your alcohol intake overall. It might even cut down in half, but it does far more than that. First, by alternating alcohol with water, it actually dilutes the amount and impact of alcohol in your body. Secondly, it helps you stay hydrated. So critical. And that in turn reduces the risk of dehydration symptoms like headaches, fatigue, and even decreased sexual function. So this isn't rocket science, right? Alternating water with alcohol. But I want to give you a couple of extra tips that can help. Tip number 1 is try to drink one standard drink per hour and alternate with water. Simple, right? But you need to keep track of how long it's been since your last drink if you're trying to just drink one drink per hour. Thank God we have this amazing device that we're never without and that we can take notes on, along with a great selfie. Tip number 2, if you don't love water or you're in the mood to switch it up, consider a beverage that contains a lot of water, like iced tea, coconut water, or even naturally flavored sparkling water. In general, avoid soda for many, many reasons, but first and foremost because it can contribute to hangovers. You can even try one of those rehydration drinks that come in packets. You can just stash a couple in your purse and then add it to a glass of water wherever you're at, and that will really help replenish the sodium and potassium you're losing when you're drinking alcohol. Healthy drinking hack number 3 is get acquainted with what a standard serving of alcohol looks like. Now, this one kind of blew my mind, I got to be honest. According to the Dietary Guidelines for Americans, the recommended alcohol limit for women is not more than 1 standard serving of alcohol per day. That's if you really want to minimize the impact of alcohol on your health and your sleep. That's not what blew me away. This is. Did you know that the standard serving of alcohol differs depending on the type of alcohol you drink and its alcohol content? Well, I didn't. For example, 1 standard serving of 12% ABV or alcohol by volume wine is around 5 ounces. But a standard red wine glass holds between 12 to 16 fluid ounces of wine. So, if you're not paying attention, you could very easily end up overindulging. Healthy drinking hack number 4 is drink low sugar wines, dry champagne, or lower sugar alcohol drinks. What do I mean? Pure alcohol like gin, rum, whiskey, vodka, they all contain 0 added sugar. 0. But when was the last time you drank straight vodka all night? Well, we all had our college days, but lately I like to blend my alcohol with something, and that's where the havoc comes in when it relates to our hormones, because it's not the alcohol that messes with our blood sugar, it's the mixers they're often blended with that do. I'm talking about sugar and a lot of it. Mixed drinks like margaritas and daiquiris can contain more than 30 grams of sugar per serving. And dessert wines aren't much better. In fact, a glass of tawny port can contain up to 33 grams of sugar per serving. So what should you drink? The lowest sugar wines are considered dry wines and contain less than 1 gram of sugar per serving. Think Sauvignon Blanc, Lambrusco, or Extra Brut champagne. Next come the dry wines like Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and Cabernet Sauvignon. They have about 1.4 to 5 grams of sugar per serving. Off-dry wines like White Zin and Chenin Blanc contain about 1.4 to 5 grams of sugar. So they're not too bad. But if you're drinking more than a 5-ounce glass, that can even add up. Try to limit or stay away from sweet wines like sweet rosé, pink moscato, or Riesling, which can contain up to 18 grams of sugar per serving. Side note, in the summer months, I like to make or order a white wine spritzer. I make it with dry wine like a Chardonnay, some club soda, not tonic water, ton of sugar and tonic water, and a splash of no sugar added juice. I even like to keep little packets of monk fruit or stevia in my purse to sweeten drinks a bit if they're too bitter. Yeah, I'm that girl. I even do that with my mojitos. I'll ask for no simple syrup, and then I'll bring my liquid monk fruit in my purse and squeeze a little bit in there to sweeten it up so that I'm not dealing with all of those blood sugar spikes and dips that come with consuming too much sugar. Okay, so far we have 4 healthy drinking hacks to get you through the rest of the summer without wreaking complete havoc on your hormones. Now, I'm going to be back in just a minute to share the rest. But first, are you tired of being dismissed by your doctor or told your hormonal symptoms are just part of getting older? Are you frustrated by blood tests that keep coming back normal or within normal range? What does that mean anyway? Even though you feel anything but? Are you ready to put an end to frustrating symptoms and finally just feel like you again? Then click the link in my show notes and take my free hormone quiz. You hear me talking about this every week. If you haven't done it, now's the time. Why? Because this self-assessment is quick, it's easy, and it's scary accurate. I didn't create it, gotta be honest. It was developed by 3 functional medicine doctors, and it uses something called hormone symptom profiling to evaluate your age, menstrual cycle, and symptoms for 7 of the most common hormonal imbalances in perimenopause through postmenopause. Best of all, it's going to give you the clarity you need to finally understand what the heck is going on with your hormones so you can begin to balance them naturally. Healthy drinking hack number 5 is eat ahead of time to prevent a blood sugar spike. Now, sometimes you're just at the mercy of your summer host when it comes to what you're going to drink. Hello, spiked punch and frozen margaritas. But you can reduce blood sugar spikes and dips by pairing your drink with food, especially a healthy fat, protein, and some fiber, which together all helps to slow down your body's glucose response. Ladies, this does not have to be complicated. If you're at a bar or a barbecue, head for the bowl of nuts or even some chips and guac. They're both a really good source of healthy fat, and nuts even have a little bit of protein in them as well. Or make a beeline to the chicken wings or finger sandwiches and get in a little extra protein. In addition to pairing a little snack with your drink, it's worth mentioning you should never drink alcohol on an empty stomach. Never. If you have not eaten for a few hours before you drink, that cocktail or glass of wine or beer, whatever it is you're drinking, is going to be absorbed through the intestines and into your bloodstream within 15 to 30 minutes. And that's going to lead to blood sugar imbalance and symptoms like rapid heartbeat, sweating, dizziness, and anxiety. Healthy drinking hack number 6. Stop drinking 4 to 6 hours before bedtime to prevent problems sleeping, including insomnia and waking up in the middle of the night. As I alluded to earlier in this episode, our body metabolizes alcohol at the rate of 1 standard drink per hour. But the effects can last even after the alcohol has been eliminated from our bloodstream. Research suggests that even late afternoon drinking, like happy hour drinking, that occurs up to 6 hours before bedtime can still disrupt our sleep. That's because alcohol disrupts the brain's release of melatonin. That's the hormone that helps us fall asleep. And that's bad news for up to 60% of us in perimenopause or menopause who already have trouble sleeping. Side note, I dedicated an entire episode in this summer series, episode 26, to sleep and your hormones, including 4 natural hacks for better Z's. I'll be sure to link it in today's show notes as well. So if possible, try and have a cutoff time for your drinking that's at least 4 hours before your bedtime, especially if you're working the next day. This is going to help minimize the effects of alcohol on your sleep, as well as help improve your productivity and ability to concentrate and stay alert the next day. Healthy drinking hack number 7 is supplement to prevent dehydration symptoms and help detoxify the liver. So taking certain supplements before you drink, after you drink, and the next day after drinking can really help to reduce the effects of alcohol on your hormones. The 3 supplements I recommend are vitamin B complex, inositol, and vitamin C. So what you do is you take a vitamin B complex right before you drink or a few hours before you drink, and that's going to help you recover more quickly from dehydration. Then you take another vitamin B complex before you go to bed and another the day after you've drank. And this is all going to help restore the vitamins your liver needs to break down the alcohol you've consumed. In terms of inositol, you want to take that right before you drink. That's also going to help aid in detoxifying your liver as well as balancing your blood sugar levels. And then vitamin C you're going to want to take before you drink also. This is going to specifically help combat the stress that you put on your cells when you drink alcohol. And lastly, the healthy drinking hack number 8 is exercise to soothe the adrenals, balance blood sugar levels, and detoxify the liver. So exercise helps to mitigate the effects of alcohol on our hormones in multiple ways. First, studies show that the more we exercise and are physically active, the less we tend to drink. Now, there's a few different theories on why. One is because exercise helps us feel good about ourselves and our body and increases our self-confidence. So we don't need to rely on alcohol as a crutch in social situations. Another theory is that alcohol increases our blood circulation and releases the feel-good hormone dopamine, and that prevents us from turning to alcohol when we're stressed. A second benefit of exercise is that it helps us detoxify our liver and internal organs, which prevents a backup of estrogen. This is extremely important since our body prioritizes the metabolism of alcohol above everything else, and that can lead to excess hormones and toxins circulating in our body and contributing to hormonal imbalance. What's great is literally any type of exercise can help detoxify our liver. Yoga, resistance training, cardio, take your pick. Lastly, exercise can help lower blood sugar immediately following an event or an occasion involving drinking. Now, I know that might not always be possible, but studies show that a brisk 30-minute walk after drinking can lower blood sugar 50 times more than being sedentary. So there you go. 8 healthy drinking hacks to reduce the effects of alcohol on your perimenopause or menopause symptoms and get you through the rest of summer. Before I go, I want to give you one last bonus tip for everyone who stayed here to the end with me. If you're someone like me who really enjoys a summer cocktail, but who doesn't enjoy the weight gain, the poor sleep, the fatigue, or the hot flashes it can trigger, then the best way to reduce alcohol's effect on your body is to get your hormones balanced. It is amazing how prioritizing nutrition, supplementation, stress management, and a healthy lifestyle can help us not only feel better, but recover more quickly and minimize the effects of alcohol in our bodies. Next week, I'm going to dive into our final topic in this summer series: how to maintain some semblance of a healthy routine on vacation, or how to get back on the health wagon if you've fallen off. Until then, hashtag summer mocktails, hashtag healthy cocktails, hashtag beat the heat. Hey friend, can I call you friend? Because I already feel like we're friends in my head. Did this podcast teach you something, make you laugh, or feel less like an alien? If so, I would be so incredibly grateful if you could take just 60 seconds to rate, review, and subscribe. That is the number one way you can thank me and support the show. Until next week, stay cool and keep away from sharp objects.